I'm Kelly in the Know, reporting to you from WBIBLE this morning. Today we have an exclusive interview with King David. But first, a word from our sponsor, the Book of Matthew.
Today's program is brought to you from the Book of Matthew. Let your yes mean yes. Let your no mean no. Matthew 5:37.
Welcome back. We're minutes away from an exclusive interview with King David. David has been in the news a lot lately. WBIBLE was the first to report David's slaying of the giant Goliath. David was brave when everyone else was scared. Then WBIBLE reported the meeting between King Saul and David. David obeyed God and did not kill Saul. We followed David as he patiently waited for God to make him king. And today, WBIBLE learned about recent developments with King David. He has been keeping his promises. Once again, as a man who makes God proud, David is doing what he said he would do. We go now to Frank Find It Out, outside David's palace.
Thank you, Nellie. I'm Frank Find It Out, outside the palace gates. There's been a real traffic jam out here. We've been waiting to see King David and interviewing people who know that David keeps his promises. Earlier in David's life, you remember he had a BFF named Jonathan. They were tight. Reportedly, David promised Jonathan he would always show kindness to Jonathan's family. Now that so much time has passed, David is king. Jonathan is dead. And everyone, and I mean everyone, loves David. He's rich. He is famous, but he remembered his promise. We're here with one person that King David kept his promise to.
I'm my foes. My mom loved me so much. She swore she was gonna have the longest name of anybody, and so my name's Mephibosheth. She loved me a lot, Mephibosheth. Well, I'm Jonathan's son, and you see, all my life, my daddy, he talked about his best friend. His name is David. Well, I mean, how was I supposed to know his best friend is his best friend is David? His best friend was David the King, and it's the King David. So what happened was, I was sitting in my house, and you have to understand, I'm crippled. My legs don't work anymore, and who am I? Just this old nobody on the street. And next thing I know, I'm getting a call from King David to come in, and I come in, and I sat down, and David comes in, and he says, "Are you Mephibosheth?" My mama loved me a lot. Mephibosheth, and I said, "Yes, sir. I'm your servant." I was real scared. It was King David, and he said, "Oh, don't be afraid, because your mama loved you a lot, obviously, and I loved your father. I was his best friend. Jonathan was my best friend," King David says to me. And he says, "I promised him a long time ago that I would take care of his family and you are his son, and so I'm going to give you back all the land that was King Saul's land, and give it to you and your family. And then he told me he was going to go to King Saul's old servant Ziba, who he used to work for King Saul, and he was going to have him work all this land for me, so that now I can have money and I'm going to be rich. I asked him, King David, well, why are you doing this for me? And he said, I loved your father, and I promised Jonathan I would take care of his family. I tell you that King David, he keeps his promises.
And then we've gone on location to interview Ziba. Ziba is who King David asked to work the fields for Mephibosheth. Ziba, what do you have to say? Do you have any more to add, Ziba? Thank you. We are here today in an exclusive interview with King David. Glad to be here with you, King David. It is a real privilege. My first question for you is, we understand that you have given land that belonged to King Saul to Jonathan's son, Mephibosheth. Is this true, and why?
Yes, it is true, because I decided to keep my promise with
To Jonathan?
him. Yes.
Remarkable. We also here at WBIBLE understand that you have also invited him to your house for dinner. Is this true?
Yes, I did invite him to my house for dinner.
There you have it, folks. An exclusive interview with King David, a man who is after God's heart and a man who keeps his promises. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Frank Find It Out. There you have it, folks, an exclusive from WBIBLE. Interview with King David, a man who keeps his promises. Thanks so much, and thanks to our sponsor, the Book of Matthew. Let your yes mean yes, and your no mean no.